Record. I feel like this is like my first call ever. I feel like we haven't had a call like this in so long. Um, but I'm proud to say that I feel like we haven't because honestly, we haven't needed it. We have had crazy momentum. We've also had like all these awesome calls from other leaders and teams. And I feel like sometimes it's good to know what you want to stay true to. And it's good to see how other teams do things because I feel like it does one of two things. It either makes you appreciate what we have even more and you say, that was great. You can, take or leave any information that you hear. If it's not your vibe and it's not like you don't feel like really receptive to it, just let it be. And then other times it's really nice and valuable to just have other people's opinions on how they do things and what's worked for them. Because at the end of the day, we all know that consistency is really what makes you successful with something like this, but there's so many ways to do it, right? There's so many different things. So it's good to like try different ways and maybe somebody's leadership or call, like a lot of you the other night said Alicia like gave you a lot of energy and made you excited, and so it's good to hear other leadership voices, and I'm glad that we get to do that. But anyways, tonight we're going to kind of just touch back to the basics. I like to do this call at least once a month. Like I said, last month we didn't do it. But I want to talk to you guys about a couple things. So we're going to kind of recap hitting managing market partner. So we're going to go over MMP. I feel like we have a lot of new girls. And I really want to just focus on the most important foundations of this business. So let's just start off there. So MMP, managing market partner, that's going to be your first rank. And it's really important, everybody obviously starts this business with different intentions. You're in different places in your life, and that's totally okay. That's great that you have that, opportunity and ability to say, I want to start a business and I want to go at my own pace. But one thing that the company does is they honor urgency always with everything. And that's why we have all these different ways that you can get paid. We get different bonuses. You're in Smart Start when you start your business. You've got this amazing MMP bonus that you get. So if you're within the first 90 days of your business, which essentially you would still be in your Smart Start as well, you get the MMP bonus. So that's an extra $100 that you get just for hitting that rank. And in the midst of the work that you're putting in to do that, you have all these other commissions and bonuses. So I just want to go over it briefly and give you a plan so that if you don't have a plan, we can start putting everything into action. So basically, what the company has done is changed how you can hit this rank, this MMP rank. So rewind a couple months ago, like I'm sure a lot of you know, we did not have the affiliate program. And I think that what it's done is changed a lot of people's perspective. I think it's taken a lot of fear out of what we do because that part of it can be scary. It's still scary for people that have been doing this for years, is the recruiting part, right? Adding business partners to your business. I even still feel like it's easier to sell a solution to someone's problem with their hair or their skin than it is with the business. And that's just the honest truth. I've now felt confident in offering the opportunity, but it's still at the end of the day, I feel like just easier to fall into that part of the business. So what they've done is said, okay, now we're going to take away the recruitment part and you're going to be able to hit this rank just with volume. So what this has done has, like I said, it's taken away a lot of fear. It's opened more opportunity, but what it's also done is started to season people to have higher personal volume. And that is a beautiful thing because your business, you can literally triple your income at any rank that you're at, the higher your personal volume is. And you have total control over this. This contributes to how you get paid on your Friday checks. It contributes to the VIP acquisitions that you gain. And a VIP acquisition is every time, and this is at any time in your business, which is the other thing, is that a lot of these bonuses stay with you forever. But a VIP acquisition is every time you accumulate 4 VIPs in 1 month, you gain a $60 bonus. So think about all this. Like, I know it seems like a lot of numbers, there's a lot going on, but at the end of the day, it's amazing to know that you could be going for one goal and literally you could be getting paid your VIP acquisition bonus. If you're in Smart Start, you're making your block bonuses and you're making commission from all these sales. And if you're within your first 3 months, you also get the MMP bonus. So let's just say, let's pretend that we're talking to somebody that's within those first 3 months, okay? Because I really want to make sure we're focusing on duplicating what's important in the very beginning. So your block bonuses, remember what I just said about that VIP acquisition. Whenever you accumulate 4 VIPs, you get your $60 bonus, okay? And if you were to add on a market partner, and here's the other thing, is I just was talking about like recruiting, you don't have to do it, but in the beginning, when you're in Smart Start, anybody that you think who really loves beauty products, you know, they've really been looking for a solution for their hair, skin, you think they're going to be a great customer, maybe they're going to be someone that spends more money, maybe they're your mom or your sister-in-law or whoever, that's probably going to be making more purchases. I personally think it's always better in the beginning to use that as a stepping stone for both of you. It gives them a better discount and it helps you close out a block. Because when you get your 4 VIPs and your 1 market partner, now you're eligible for your block bonus, okay? And that's going to add on $150 US to everything that you've done now. So all of these bonuses are just extra. And I think it's awesome that they do this for us, because in the beginning of your business, the most important thing you could do is just get up and just start. Messy action is always going to be better. It's always going to be scary. There's going to be times where you're like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know enough about the products. I don't know enough about the business. I don't have the confidence yet. Your confidence is in that you know that you have all of us rallying behind you. I'm sure you have a great mentor that you signed up with, your team, the trainings, and it's exciting to get that momentum and start earning those bonuses so that it makes you feel more confident in being the owner of your business, because that's what you've done. You own a business now. So let's talk about the action in order to get it going and like a little bit of a goal for each week. So the most important thing too in the beginning is to kind of just organize a list, 3 to 5 people, okay? And sometimes you'll probably hear someone call it your hot market. So this is going to be anybody that you see on a daily basis. Maybe you have a neighbor that you talk to a lot. Maybe you have a mom group, people that you work with, family, whoever it may be, that you would be the most comfortable to talk to, that you would think you could serve a solution with our products. Because at the end of the day, if you really think about what we do, that is what we do. It's not even really about selling the product. It's about selling a solution to someone's problem, always, okay? So a little tip for that, and then I'll go into the planning part. But when you're having these conversations, and here we are saying like, I feel like I don't know everything yet. I don't know all the right things to say. Have your potential customer do like 85% of the talking, because that will make you feel more confident. And as they're talking to you and they're saying, oh my gosh, yeah, I actually deal with X, Y, and Z, and this has been bothering me for years. I think it's just the way my hair is. Something so simple as just giving them a solution is what will make them feel confident, right? Because it's always going to be how you make someone feel in the conversation. So we all know too that the oil is the answer to most of people's problems with their hair. The oil literally has so many benefits with people for scalp health, frizz, growth, shine, anything that you could think of that someone is dealing with their hair that they wish they could improve. The first thing I ever say to any customer that I'm talking with is the oil, because I know I feel confident and it's one product. So worst case scenario, if your clients are like, I don't want a full system, I just bought Olaplex, I just got this for Christmas, I still have shampoo and conditioner, the oil is basically, I feel like one size fits all. Anybody can use that oil and see a huge change in their hair, no matter what shampoo and conditioner they're using. So that's something that they can implement into what they're already doing, and they'll see the results that they want. And then now you've got a happy customer who's probably going to want to dip into other things once they run out of that. But that right there is so simple. And I feel like in the beginning, in order to start gaining your confidence, it is very important to just focus on the simplicity of what you're doing and just kind of reel it in and think about a few things that you can start to get really good at. Being consistent, a couple products that maybe hopefully that you're using, because what you're using too is probably what you're going to sell the most, honestly. And it's really crazy, but I remember someone one time saying that when you really start to get focused on your niche and you start dialing down to the people that you want to talk to the most about the product, you literally start attracting those people. Because I swear, like 90% of the hair consults I do, I recommend the same products, and it's kind of the same thing. I have a really oily scalp. My hair is really frizzy. I really want it to grow, kind of in the same realm of things, right? And they're like, it's crazy, but it's because that's what you're attracting. So anyway, um, get confident with a few things, a few products, being consistent, and really just communicating with your team and your upline is so important. So we've got our list, okay? And the most important thing now is to figure out MMP. What does this mean? How do you hit it? Okay. And it really comes down to numbers. And I've never been a big numbers person, but like after probably a year and a half in my business, I was like, I have to become a numbers person because I have to figure out how to simplify this for my business partners so that they can duplicate and become successful and then help other people do the same thing. So the best thing to do is think about it like this: MMP, in order to hit it, okay, you have to have a bare minimum of 1,200 in PV. So you break that down by weeks. So if we're already on the 7th and we say, okay, I want to hit MMP this month, and let's just say you're at no PV right now. We haven't had a sale. It's December. We've had crazy sales back to back. Okay. So we're at 0, but we're going to hit MMP this month. So we only start by saying, okay, well, there's 3 weeks left. So basically, in order to hit that goal, give yourself a small goal and do 1 week at a time. You hit 400 a week. So you would hit 400 by, say, the 14th. By the 21st, we want to try to be looking at 800. And then you go through your month like that. And then that way you have these little milestones throughout the month that make you feel excited. And you're like, okay, now I've got momentum. I'm at 400 now because I have a small goal that I'm focusing on. And you progress through your month like that, because then you can teach what you're doing so simply. That's so simple for someone new to come in and understand, okay, if I have a number each week and I kind of start figuring out, okay, 1 or 2 sales is probably going to get me anywhere from, 100 to 300 in PV. So that's how you can think of it, is that each week, if you could push yourself to get 2 sales, sometimes these sales are with the same person. Okay. And that's another thing, is that the flex ship, I really want to talk about this because last month I shifted a little bit, and I feel like almost 2 years now, I haven't really put enough attention on my personal business. And I really did last month. And I feel like I really learned a lot with verbiage and how to make a customer feel, how to have professional urgency in closing people, because that's the other thing, is the last thing that we all want to do is be like, what the heck? I mean, I'm working a full-time job. I'm really trying to be successful with this. I've talked to 20 people and I haven't gotten 1 VIP. And that's going to happen. Okay. And it can be frustrating. But here's the thing, is that everything you're doing in this business is planting seeds. You're learning and you're getting better. Okay. But the way that we change that is say, okay, what can I shift in order to change the outcome of this? Because I want to be signing up VIPs. Okay. Following up, again, with making sure the customer is talking more. We always want to make sure they're the one that's talking more, okay? Because we can figure out more on how to help them when they're the one speaking with us, okay? And then the professional urgency part, I feel like when people really feel like you treat this like a business, okay? Even if you've been doing this for a week, you have a business now. Think about if you took out all these loans, okay? Because normally a business you cannot start any business for like $200. Okay. So you take out all these loans, you have this dream, you build a coffee shop. Okay. And you opened it up and you've only been doing it 2 weeks. You would be having the door open every day, inviting people in, taste the coffee, do this. You'd be advertising, word of mouth, all these things. Think of this as the same way. Okay. If you owned a salon and you were a hairstylist and you opened up this new salon, what were things that you'd be doing? All these things in your mind, when you start thinking of this like that, but at the end of the day, think of how fun it is. Like, we sell shampoo for the most part in skincare. This is so fun. You can do it anytime you have a full-time job and you're on lunch break, you could probably sit down and follow up with some people and sign a VIP up while you're on lunch break. And you start building this residual income. Okay. So confidence when you talk to people, but also explaining the flex shift. This was something that, like I said, last month, I feel like I kind of learned a lot with the professional urgency part. I'm going to maybe pick like one or two conversations and just kind of read through a couple pieces of it. But again, with the timing of closing people, because what you don't want to do is have a conversation lingering and then 2 days now have gone by and you guys have talked about it. She was so excited. Now the energy's kind of tied down. We're trying to follow up like, hey, are you still interested? So when you're talking to somebody, it's so important to like close it to where you can get to the next step of like, hey, okay, listen, so we've got the problem, I've got the solution, we've got all the products, like you've gotten that far. The next best thing to say is like, hey, listen, do you have a quick minute? Because if you do, I can make the cart and I'll help you check out. They're super time sensitive. So I just want to be efficient for you. Do you have a second right now? If they don't, then find out when they do. Tonight, when the kids go down, let's do it together. I'll text you. I'll send you the cart and I'll help you get through the checkout process. Okay. Because you don't want to send a cart. And then, like I said, 2 days have gone by and either the thing expires and now you're frustrated because you have to remake the cart, or they're like, I don't have the email, I can't find it now, or it's not working, or whatever it is. So when you're having this conversation with this person, okay, let's say I'm talking to a friend and she's talking to me about, I really wish my hair would grow. My scalp is so oily. I can't go long between washes. Okay. So my response would be, well, the first things first is we definitely need the oil. We've got to do oil treatments. Okay. We've got to do oil treatments before you wash your hair. We're going to do it 1 to 2 times a week. I'm going to show you how to do them. And this is going to be the foundation of your system. Okay. And then you can simply do the same thing with the shampoo and conditioner. And I try to do it in 1 to 2 sentences. Like the shampoo and conditioner I'm going to put you on is also going to help balance out your scalp. It's going to help with growth, all these things that, you feel like you want to improve. This is a perfect system for you. Okay. You say that products last 5 to 6 months. If you'd like me to make you a cart, let me know. And that's normally how I'll end that part. And if they're like, yeah, I'd love to see it, I'm like, okay, well, the other thing I do is I try to get a general idea of how much it's going to be, because me too, like, don't be afraid to tell somebody the price. Like, oh, I know it's expensive. I know it's kind of a lot, but they last really long. Like, be confident. Okay. Even if it's $200, sometimes I'm like, I got you a great deal. I got you the oil, which this is super relevant right now. So if you guys are not aware of this part yet, pay attention to this month. The CC cream is the only for you product. Okay. So when any customer buys a conditioner and the oil, the purchase plus discount takes off the price of the shampoo, and then they get the free product, the CC cream, which is the only for you product for the month. So that's exactly how I've basically been wording every conversation. Okay. So we need the oil. We went through that part. Shampoo and conditioner is going to balance, help with growth. And then I'm also going to add on your leave-in for free. It'll probably be about $150 and the products will last you 5 to 6 months. And then you ask them, would you like me to make you a cart so we can look at it together? If they say yes, I'm like, okay, well, do you have a minute? Once I send it, I'll help you check out. If not, then you let me know a good time tonight so that I can be efficient for you. Okay. And again, with the flex ship part, this is something that I feel like I personally, for the first year, dreaded. I was like, why do we have to have this thing? I don't like it. I don't like explaining it. When people ask me like, oh, I don't want like a subscription, I don't want the flex ship thing, I would just be like, okay, because I didn't know like what to say. So the most important thing is to just understand how to describe it to somebody, because that was another thing that I really felt like I learned last month, is that every VIP that I had signed up last month, like, has already placed a flex ship and they're obsessed with it. And I'm like, why have I not been doing this my whole almost 3 years now? Is just explaining it in a fun way. Okay. So when someone asks or mentions the flex ship, I'm like, oh, well, you definitely want the flex ship, because that's like the best part. Because if we don't have a sale, that's how we're basically going to automate a sale. It's a placeholder for me so that I can go into your account, whenever you want an oil or you want like shampoo and conditioner and we don't have a sale going on, I can add free shipping and a free product. And that's really the basics of all that you need to explain. But tell them, like, I'm not afraid to say, no, you do want the flagship. Like if somebody's like, no, I don't want that. I'm like, no, you definitely want the flagship, because that's like the best part. If we don't have a promo, this is how we're going to automate the sale to get the best deal. You get free shipping. I can go in and help you place it and set it up. It's awesome. Okay. So you got to be excited about it for them to feel that same energy. All right. So, going back to MMP, we've got these goals for each week. Okay. So basically I'm going off of right now. If it's the 7th, we need to make sure we have a plan and we say, okay, we've got 3 weeks and we've got to get to 400 each week. So now what's the plan? How do we do that? Social media is so powerful. Okay. And for a while, I feel like a lot of people were like, I don't know, Instagram, is dying off. Now there are all these other apps and we need to be doing all these things. Okay. Yes, obviously those are options, but if you are very intentional with your content, and it's not even just about, oh, I got to post content every single day. I got to do all these things that this person's doing. Okay. I used to literally, and I have no shame saying this, like I used to try to copy as much as I could without it being too exact to girls that were super successful. And when it didn't work for me, I would be like, what the heck? Like I literally did the same thing and I didn't get any traction and I'm not doing this. But the second that I stopped being afraid of like, I need to do it like her so I can be successful. And I was like, I need to find a way for my followers and people who want to buy Monat from me to like fall in love with me and my energy so that they want to come to me for it and not that girl. Okay. And they're just like, yeah, I'll get whatever you say because you seem super excited about it and they trust you. Okay. When that trust is there, they see the value in the amount of money that they're spending with you. And that's really the thing, is that when they see the value in it, they will spend $150. They will spend $200 with you because you said they have to have the oil and the this and the that. Okay. So the plan is that we've got to figure out a way to have an open mouth, open business. Yes, people spend $200 on stuff that they find value in. A Target haul, a this or that, whatever it is. If they see value in it, they're going to spend it. So now we need to figure out a plan. So we're like, okay, we've got my list. I'm going to talk to these people. But before you talk to these people, the best thing you can do is lean into and utilize your upline. That is their job. And you say, listen, I have 3 people I want to reach out to. And I need some help with verbiage, because if you just go and tell 3 people a whole, like I'm talking from me, because this is what I did, a whole paragraph about how I'm selling this anti-aging, vegan, naturally based shampoo. And I was going into all these details and writing out this whole thing. And then they wouldn't write me back. And I'm like, what the heck? Why are they not answering me? Like I'm explaining it. It sounds great, right? Okay. You want to be vague. And again, you want to be intentional and you want to try to figure out what the problem is. Like what kind of solution can you come up with this for this person? So in the beginning, like I said, I also didn't have an upline to utilize, but now you do. So utilize your upline and say, okay, what's some good verbiage I could use going into these conversations? You do that. That's one. Okay. The other thing is that you definitely want to utilize social media. Like, I mean, it's a free platform and anybody could see a reel that you do a reel and that goes out to everybody. They don't have to be following you to see that. Right. So you're on your story, you're showing up, you're showing the product. The other thing that's so important is to demonstrate what you're using, because I promise you, the more products that you demonstrate, or even you hold it and you put some little words on the screen, why they need it or why you love it, that's what people are going to buy. Okay. The ACV rinse and the oil get added to almost every single VIP purchase that I have, which increases your volume by like 140 per sale. So you're looking at what, close to maybe 200 volume per sale, but it's only because they see it and they see you talking about it and why you need it. And that's what people want. Like, people love to be led. Like, think about if you follow someone for like house decor or clothes. Okay. And sometimes I'll see it on the rack and I don't buy it. And then I see the girl and she's like, oh my God, like, you absolutely need it. It's so comfortable. It fits so good. It's so figure flattering. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I buy it. It's the same thing with this. You get on, you show your hair, you talk about why you love it, you demonstrate how you use it, and people are gonna, I promise you, with consistency, the oil, the thing you're showing all the time, add that to my cart. And that's what we want, because we want to learn and progress into our business where it starts to become that, because all these things make you excited. It's like addicting to be like, oh my gosh, like, they love what I'm saying. I'm feeling good about what I'm saying. Okay. And the other thing is that the newest form of consistency is repetition. And with repetition that's what starts making you feel confident. Okay. You could literally probably have 6 to 10 things for verbiage that you basically kind of say, starting on a daily basis with people, how to create or how to explain the flex ship. Like, I literally say that every day to at least one person when they ask about it. I say the same thing. What's the fee? What's the $19 fee on there? I don't want to pay a fee. Same thing. I have the same response for the most part. And the best thing for that I have is that I say the fee is basically for me. You have total access to me. I'm always going to be here for future recommendations. You can come to me about anything that you need. It's for all of your promos and your free shipping and whatever. Okay. But you being a part of it is showing that you're valuable to them and they have access to you, because a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to buy it. And then what? I'm not going to know how to use it. I'm not ever going to talk to this girl again. So make them feel confident with that too. Okay. So we've got our plan. Okay. For MMP, I wanted to go over that first and make sure you guys understood like the gist of it, the numbers part of it. Utilize your smart start, and just be excited about all of it. Like, that you have a lot to look forward to in your business, and the more patient and consistent you are, the better. Let me look at my notes real quick. Let's see. Showing the products. I went over basically all that. I was going to kind of role play. I feel like I already kind of did that though, with the fee, the flex ship. If there's anything that you guys feel like an objection that you get a lot, like, oh my gosh, I keep getting people that say X, Y, and Z. If you're comfortable, maybe put it in the chat and let me know, and I'll give my responses to that. But the whole gist of this call that I really want you to take away, other than just kind of giving you those tangible things and like how to explain all of it, is that consistency is always going to win. And I think consistency means different things to people, but really consistency has to be an everyday thing, right? And it really does. Like, again, think about it. If you put your heart and soul and like 90% of your bank account into opening up a business, you would be doing everything and anything. You would be so proud. So you've got to really treat this the same way. And when you do, you will see what happens to your confidence and what happens to your turnarounds, because there will be a time, there will be a time that you'll have, oh my gosh, I feel like I did all the right things. I talked to like 10 people, nothing's happening. It's good sometimes to just let people air out, let them air out. And now you've planted your seeds, you've done your job, and you always want to keep people in the funnel, right? You always want to have people there, because if not, we've got nobody to follow up with. Now we have a sale. Nobody's told me no. Like, you need the no's. Okay. Because every time you get those no's, you organize them, you write them down, and then now you have people to follow up with. Okay. Let me look in here real quick. Okay. So it says, I want to finish all of my other products first. So I still get that sometimes. And I right there will kind of just respond with a question, and I'll ask them like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's awesome. First of all, if you have products that you love, do you have like a growth oil that you're using? Do you have hair masks? Like, what kind of products are you using? Use that as a conversation starter. Figure out what kind of products they're using and figure out if they're really even working. Because I feel like sometimes when we start asking questions, people are more open to like, oh, no, I don't have a growth oil. What is that? Or, oh, maybe I do need a mask, because anybody can start with anything. They don't have to have shampoo, conditioner, whatever it is. Like the oil, again, if they could just get the oil, like I would say, like, well, you know what would be great is if you think you want to try it later, the oil would be like amazing. It would be a great like foot in the door to try the products. You can use it in, you know, with whatever you're using right now. And you will literally, like, the results are undeniable. Again, it's how you make someone feel. Like, it makes your hair so shiny. It helps with growth. It helps remove buildup. Even if you just started with that, then you can kind of like get a taste for the products because the oil's infused into everything that we have. And then later, whenever you're done with that stuff, we can get you on a system if you want. Okay, so there's so many other things that they can try. Rejuva beads and a hair mask, or just the oil, or like maybe the scrub and the ACV rinse. Okay. It's not the right time to spend that much money on myself right now. So this one can be tricky. Because if that is the objection at the end of it, sometimes the only thing that I will try to say is like, listen, I totally get it. I felt the same way. I felt crazy trying to spend this on myself, because I just don't buy things for myself very often. But when I saw that the products lasted like between 5 and 6 months, that was really what sold me, because I'm all about like having good quality if I am going to spend the money, but also the fact that it lasts that long, you know. But remember this, when the money thing comes up, is that, like I was saying in the beginning, a lot of people, if they don't see the value in spending the money, they won't. So if you really focus on, before we can even get to that part of, oh my God, it's too much, be upfront about the price after you have provided the solution. So most of the time, and sometimes that will happen. Sometimes you'll do everything perfect and you'll say everything perfect and they'll still say, oh, I don't know, I just can't spend the money right now. But for the most part, spreading the value up front. And then again, saying like, you know, it's crazy. You spend $150, you get your whole system that lasts 5 to 6 months, and it's literally going to address every single thing that we talked about. And then repeat that back to them. It's going to address the growth, the frizz, the oily scalp, all these things. Okay. So that's kind of what I would say for that. I wouldn't push too much. I would try to end on, you know, reminding them of the quality and how long they last. And other than that, I would just kind of let that be a follow-up for somebody when we have a flash sale, would be great. The other thing, last thing I'll say is, don't forget that we have the MP incentive, because I honestly keep forgetting myself. Let me pull it up real quick. Hang on. And if you guys have any other questions or anything you want me to talk about, like, this is the best time to ask when we're in these little intimate calls together. I literally could be about anything. I don't care what it is. If you have something while I look for this, let me see, because I know it's the oil, and let's see.
Hey, Jade.
Yes.
It's the oil, the dry shampoo, and the energy.
Perfect. So anytime, and that's a over $200 value. So the most important thing we want to do too is be talking about that. Like, now's the best time to start a business. Okay. Right before the new year, you're one step ahead. And this is where people really want to either do one of two things, or three things, I guess: spoil themselves, buy things for their family, or start a business, because the new year is coming up. And so just make sure you guys are utilizing that. I see one more question and then I'll let you guys go. Okay, so how would you use this promo with potential market partners? I would just use the incentive for that. I feel like that is a promo essentially in itself. So I would just say, you know, the really great thing right now, we have a promo. When you get started, you get over $200 worth of products for free. And obviously still all the same, like, resources and mentorship with me. But that's how I would go with that, is just basically talk about the incentive. How do you seek new VIPs outside of your circle without being that salesy girl? I think the biggest thing is to want to be that girl. Like, don't think about the sales. Think about, again, the solution. You're excited. Like, if you came out with your own clothing line you would want to be telling people about it. You would want to do anything you could for people to know, right? Because if we're not talking about it, then really we're not giving anybody the opportunity. So I think a lot of this can come from attraction. And again, going back to like being very intentional about how you're posting and when people are like engaging, and this could just mean maybe they're watching your story, maybe they've liked your reel. I would message them and just say like, hey girl, listen, I appreciate the support so much. I saw that you have been supporting me and I love that you're following me. I wanted to actually ask you if you would be interested or if you're in the market right now for the beauty products that I'm talking about. Just rip the Band-Aid off and be confident. And again, I think the way that you feel when you say that to somebody senses it, even if you're just on an Instagram message. Okay. And then again, utilize your upline, whatever their response is. It's always good. I feel like for a long time, once I got, access to my uplines that I work with now, I love to hear somebody else's opinion just to kind of see like, oh yeah, when the pressure's not on, that makes total sense that's how I would say that, because sometimes we just get nervous and we overthink like, how should I respond? And the way you would normally respond is exactly what they say. So then it kind of just reels you back in. You're like, okay, that's good and simple. It's not too long. What's your ideal verbiage for reaching out to a potential VIP that you've never talked to before? So same kind of thing. I feel like just being excited about the products. Maybe too, honestly, in the beginning of my business, I was offering samples to everybody. Like I'm talking about right when I started. Because I was like, listen, if I have 3 months for Smart Start, at least I feel like in the first 2 weeks, if I could get samples in 10 to 15 people's hands, it really takes somebody one time to use it. Okay. So utilize your samples and offer them. Hey, would you try these products if I sent them to you? I would love for you to try them. I think you'd really love them. I swear by them. Would you try them if I sent them to you? Again, or like I said, if you're being very intentional and you're talking about, things on your social media that are going to pull people into the solution with the products, reach out to them if they're looking at your stuff. Also, if you get a new follower, or it's like somebody that is looking at your stuff that you don't know, ask them and be like, hey, I just was curious. I'm so thankful for your support. How did you find me? Because sometimes that right there can bring up, oh, I saw your hair growth reel, or I saw your whatever. Okay. And they were intrigued by it. And then there's your open door. So I think, again, just being genuine and excited. Same thing with a market partner. I see a market partner question. What would you say to a potential market partner that says they don't have time? I would say one of two things. You could ask and say, I'm just genuinely curious. How much time do you think that it would take for you to be successful with this business? See what they say. Because a lot of people think you have to work this full time. And 90% of women that do this have a full-time career with Monat and something else. Okay. So it's like just explaining and asking that, or sometimes I'll say, be relatable. Girl, listen, trust me, I feel like if anybody didn't have time when they started this, it was me. I had every excuse in the book. I had a newborn, I had a 2-year-old baby. I certainly didn't have time, but I was just kind of tired of the same old. Like I really wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something for myself. And when I understood like just how a little intentional time in this business can get you far, then that was what really intrigued me. Okay. So say things that like make someone think like, oh, well, shoot, that's me. Maybe I need something new. Maybe maybe they sleep on it. And then whatever you've said has now intrigued them. Okay. So don't be afraid to ask questions, and just be confident with your answers. Think about like what you would want to hear. Okay. Ask questions. So yeah, so that's all the questions I see. I hope that was helpful. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of like reel it back in and get back to the basics. No matter what rank you're going for, take a second and just simplify it by the weeks. Okay. Simplify it down, because MMP is the start to everything. And basically, as you start ranking up from there, it's just multiplying. It's just multiplying your requirements. It's multiplying your tasks, because now you probably have people that, are wanting to do the same goal that you just hit. and you can simplify it and then duplicate and teach it. And it makes you feel more confident to say, this makes sense. This seems simple. Let's just break it down by numbers. Let's do this much each week. And then you can start seeing that progress and get some momentum in your business. So make sure you're using your upline. Make sure you're checking on in the chat. We have a call on Friday that I'm doing with Nicole Vituli, who is an SED in the company. And then we have like the series obviously still going. So we've got all these resources right now. So my last piece of advice is that when we go through waves where we have a lot of calls like this, don't think if you get on every call and you write down every note and everything they say, that that's what's going to make the shift. Sometimes it's good to get on, pick a few, 1 to 3 calls, whatever topics seem relevant to you, and then put what you learned into action, just a little bit at a time. And don't feel like you have to do all this consuming. And then you're like, oh my gosh, now I can't even produce because all I'm doing is getting on all these calls and I've got all these notes and I haven't taken any action. So don't consume too much where it paralyzes you. But anyways, I love you guys. I hope that was helpful and I hope you guys have a good night. Okay.